The American Revolution gets a rip-roaring reimagination in the animated comedy America the Motion Picture. The film takes everything you know about US history and throws it into a blender to create one action-packed, irreverent adventure for the nation's founding fathers and mothers.
Ding dong! It's America, motherfucker!
While you won't find this version of America's foundational story in your textbooks, history buffs will still delight in scouting out the many real-life references scattered throughout the movie from both colonial and more contemporary events. Here are some of the small details you might have missed in America the Motion Picture. Spoilers ahead! Movie fans will find cinematic tributes everywhere in America the Motion Picture. You don't need eagle eyes to spot all the blockbuster parodies mentioned at Ford's Theater. For example, who wouldn't want to watch Full Metal Musket and Snakes on a Carriage? You'll also notice other puns, about everything from Transporter to John Wick sprinkled throughout the pic.
And Sam, your propensity for murder is extraordinary.
Thank you! I took murder lessons from John Wick.
The candle makers?
Yeah!
There's even a moment where the Brits fool the Americans into thinking they're hiding out at the Gettysburg Address by using Kevin McAllister's clever mannequins in motion trick from Home Alone. The final battle sequence also gives a lot of love to the best fight scenes from The Empire Strikes Back and Avengers Endgame. But one of the more subtle winks to Hollywood comes near the end of the movie, when freedom finally rings, and the ghost of Abraham Lincoln shows up to return the Declaration of Independence to his now victorious buddy George Washington. And it's clear the National Treasures franchise has fooled everyone in the 18th century too.
And no, there's no treasure map drawn on the back of it.
Oh man.
It's only fitting that this Nicolas Cage classic should earn this well-placed wink in the film. You simply cannot make a revisionist history movie involving the theft of the Declaration of Independence without showing some love to the blockbuster that still has the US National Archives shutting down treasure map theorists a decade and a half later. You might want to pause America the Motion Picture to do some crowd spotting at certain moments throughout the film. That's because in addition to the cavalcade of historical heroes that carry the action, there are also some very familiar faces thrown into the background of certain scenes. Abe's funeral in particular is essentially a who's who of American icons, with quick shots of folks like the Roosevelt cousins, JFK and Marilyn Monroe, and Lin-Manuel Miranda playing Alexander Hamilton. Not to mention baby John Quincy Adams with a full set of mutton chops. Much later, Benjamin Franklin rises from the grave to join the fight against Benedict Arnold. And finally, while they may not be historical heroes, the mid-credits of the film introduces the B-team that didn't make it to the battle, and finally gives the payoff to all those jokes about the spelling of our heroes' names.
You pack quite the punch, Samuel Adams, with an A.
There's Thomas Edison with an E, the professional wrestler.
George Washington, the dinosaur rancher?
No, that's George Washington with an E. I'm George Washington with an O.
Dagnabbit! I think we missed it, Ease.
While the crux of America the Motion Picture is George Washington's ragtag team trying to defeat the werewolf Benedict Arnold and finally do some democracy, their adventures introduce some very tongue-in-cheek commentary about the longer-term problems their country will face.
There is nothing wrong with my skin. I'm Chinese.
Huh?
I'm from China.
Huh?
I'm an immigrant. I came here from another country, like you.
Oh, no. No. My people have always been here. That's why we make the rules, baby.
Except you don't, dumbass.
Misogyny, racism, xenophobia, anti-science bias, and frat bros wearing t-shirts calling them out as dicks are just some of the scourges of society that they encounter, but most definitely do not fix. By the end, even George Washington realizes that they're going to have a lot of problems down the road.
God, we're gonna fuck this up, aren't we?
Thanks for watching. Click the links in our video to watch more from Netflix Film Club. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the latest exclusive videos. Plus, hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.